All right, everyone, welcome back into another props video. Going to be touching on the top prop bets here in the NBA Cup, featuring my Milwaukee Bucks and the OKC Thunder. Let's go and get into it. So guys, there's going to be 4 bets I'm going to be calling out in this video. It is a 1-game slate. Definitely going to be tighter in terms of our edges. This is going to be more of us just more for traditional sportsbook bets rather than prize picks. We're really not getting that many edges in terms of like prize picks, underdog type of bets. Typically speaking, I like to come out with the NBA video a night before, just like early on in the morning, so we can get some edges on prize picks, underdog. That's not really going to be the case here. These lines have been out. We kind of know what to expect. Both teams, in terms of their injuries, are not really going to change, so we're not getting any edges there. So it's definitely going to be a tighter slate. And with that, guys, right now it's a 216.5 over and under, with OKC favored to win by 5 points. I don't know if I'm biased here from being a Bucks fan, but the Bucks are playing well, obviously if they made it to the finals here. But really, that 216.5 line seem low to you guys? To me, it really does. So I don't know. That might be my favorite bet, is honestly betting the over in that game. But let's go ahead and get into kind of my favorite prop bet as it sits right now in this game. And that's going to be Damian Lillard to get over 26.5 points and rebounds. So let's talk about his hit rates thus far this season with this bet. I typically don't like to look at these too much, but because it doesn't really take into account like matchup, kind of roster construction for that game. But again, the Bucks are pretty healthy. Not too many changes in terms of the roster, except for Khris Middleton not being active, but that doesn't really change Damian Lillard's role too much thus far. So his season hit rate for this line of 26.5 points and rebounds, he has hit this over 68% of the time. Over his last 10 games, he's gotten the over 90% of the time. And against the OKC Thunder, he's been able to get this over 77% of the time as well. So all very good stuff there as well. You look at the Thunder, they also give up the most rebounds to opposing point guards as well in the NBA, about 7.9. Now, they don't give up that many points, but with a player like Damian Lillard in a game where we haven't projected to get 39 plus minutes, I'm kind of fine betting on him to still continue to crush. And even if maybe OKC does hinder his production a little bit, I still think he's going to go out and have a great game like he has thus far in the NBA Cup. Against Orlando, somewhat similar matchup in terms of like how good they are defensively. He was able to get 28 points in that game. And I think it's worth calling out, guys, his rebounds line that we're getting at 4.5 does seem to be too low. That's his average on the season, 4.5 rebounds. And so that's also a bet for Dame I don't mind. We're going to see that's a plus bet here. So on underdog, it's 1.11x, which is a decently good payout there. And part of the reason as to why is, one, because of the minutes. Obviously going to have an increase in minutes. He averages 4.5. And again, the Thunder give up a lot of rebounds to opposing point guards. So tight lines, tight edges. Don't use this bet on underdog or prize picks if it's available. Again, it's more of a traditional sportsbook bet. So from there, you guys see that I have Dort pulled up here for his over rebounds and assists of 6.5. And this is a bet that I do like as well. Again, typically I don't like to look at hit rates too much, but again, with the Thunder, like the situations really haven't changed too much in terms of his matchup against the Milwaukee Bucks. He's gotten the over 50% of the time. He's been playing well thus far this season, getting the over 64% of the time thus far this season, and he's gotten it the last couple of games here as well. Another bet you could potentially do with him is over his points and rebounds if you wanted to do that as well. I just want to show you guys his minutes here, 32, really not terrible there. Those are the minutes that he has been getting lately. And so again, we're not going to have massive edges here, but I think this one is a fine bet to go in on. I actually don't mind him get over 6.5 rebounds and assists on underdog if you want to place a plus bet. I don't hate that idea, but again, that's going to be more of a traditional sportsbook bet. We're going to get rewarded for that risk. So another bet that I like is going to be Khris Middleton to get over 4 assists. Now, he's not playing that many minutes. That is a big concern. And a little bit of a concern I have is that maybe it just ends up being a Khris Middleton game. So he's only going to play about 20 minutes in this game, but would it be too shocking to see him end up getting more than his point total? His point total is at 8.5. They just really haven't needed him to shoot that many shots just yet. And maybe he's hot, and maybe he hits like a few 3 balls in this game where he's not needing to dish the basketball as much. That is a concern there, but I do like the fact that he's been able to get this over in all of his games thus far this season. He got a push here on the prize picks line of 4. On underdog, it's at 3.5. It is going to be a reduced payout because of how likely it is to hit. On both sites, I'm going to be kind of okay with it. Like, I hate the idea of doing like Dort over 6 rebounds and assists and Khris Middleton over 4 assists because the likely outcome is that they're just going to be pushes. But again, it's a one-game slate. We're kind of forced into bets like that. So perfectly fine with that one as well. And then the last bet I want to get into is just an interesting one. So let's pull up SGA and let's pull up his points. So we're going to see that the under is favored about 50-50. Again, doing this video earlier, there are going to be more sports that give us these lines, but 32 is an interesting line because on the season, he only averages 30.3, but he gets a good matchup here going against the Milwaukee Bucks, where if you look at like the DVP projection, which is taken the Milwaukee Bucks points given up per game, and then adjusting that for the projected minutes that SGA is going to get based off of his average minutes, his DVP projection would be 33.1, so a little bit higher there. And again, this is a game where he could end up getting a little bit more run as well. Him and Lillard are both two players I'll probably get closer to 38, 39 minutes. They should be getting over their average. Again, it's projected to be a close game. I think the game will be a little bit higher scoring, but this line does seem to be a little bit crazy to me. I don't know. It just feels a little bit too high. And if we look at the game log, guys, like we see it's kind of too high as well. I feel like they're trying to get people to bet on a high line here because it's a polarizing game, right? A lot of people are going to be betting on this game. It's going to have a high volume, and he has been right there as well. So you adjust for the Bucks being a little bit of an easier matchup. I could see it. Like the Bucks give up 26.7 points per game to opposing point guards on average, which is the third most in the NBA. Now, his hit rate on the season, 28%, and against Milwaukee, 20% as well. So certainly interesting there. I want to call that because I did find that kind of a fascinating line. Then I do want to call out some of the lines that we're getting for Isaiah Hartenstein. I don't have a particular take on this. I could maybe see this game end up going small potentially. It'll be interesting to see what happens because I could see Hartenstein and Brook Lopez just getting a little bit more run, or the team's going small to the point where maybe we're seeing a little bit more Bobby Portis than Brook Lopez, and then maybe Jalen Williams at the 5 as well for OKC, which we have seen done. So it's kind of interesting there. But like Isaiah Hartenstein, if he does end up getting the minutes, his rebounds seem to be a little bit too low. His assists seem to be a little bit too low as well. But it is a difficult matchup for him going against Brook, and Brook's been pretty solid recently as well. But those bets feel like we'd be forcing it. So let's go ahead and get into the underdog bet of the day. As always, guys, you guys can get access to the tools on the website. Bets will be updating throughout the day. Hopefully we get some better bets than the ones that are currently being presented for PrizePicks and Underdog purposes. And if you guys want to sign up for a 9 to 5 membership, make sure to use the promo code KEEPCASH, and they'll give you guys 20% off of your first 9 to 5 month membership. All right, so getting into the 9 to 5 bet of the day here, going to be showing you guys it on Underdog. Again, just showing you guys this on Underdog. You don't have to bet it there. This is more for kind of just all bets. If you guys like one of these on PrizePicks or Underdog, you can use it. I do want to call out though, like we should be sticking to the EV bets that we have. I'll show you guys the one and only like EV bet that we had on the night. When I posted the NBA video from today, that bet hit. You know, those bets that have an over 54% likely to hit, these are all either really good where the payout's being reduced with Khris Middleton, or this is a plus bet with Dort because it's not as likely to hit. I do like Damian Lillard. I think this one will end up getting bumped. So if you guys want to get some early action, this would probably be the way to go. Now, I did mention that I would be trying to find another bet for you guys to sub in there for Jaden Ivey. Evan Mobley was one that popped up in there with a 53.7% likely to hit. So the hot streak in the NBA continued again. Doing pretty well thus far. Underdog bet that I gave out looks like it might go 1 for 3. Yabusele was selling in that game. He did not do much, but another pretty solid day in the NBA. Hopefully that continues, but it's a one-game slate. Not expecting too much. Hopefully we get some good fantasy score prop bets popping up tomorrow. That's going to be all, though, for this video, guys. Make sure to give a like and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you guys want access to any of those tools, head on over to 9to5sports.com. That does help out a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.